Ole Miss here. Head coach Mike Bianco, accompanied by players Thomas Dilliard and Zach Phillips. We'll open it up with a comment from the head coach, and then we'll have questions for the players. Coach?
Obviously, disappointing game for us. Arkansas is, so good and can beat you in a lot of ways. But probably, the disappointing thing is, we just didn't play very well. Gave them too many opportunities. From a couple walks, I thought Zach was terrific. But 2 walks by us and an HBP, of 3 of their 5 runs. Part of that's because we don't make plays in the field. And then on the other side of the ball, we just had a few opportunities offensively that we just didn't capitalize, especially early. Twice I think in the first 3 innings we had a runner at second base and just don't have enough good at bats, to score. So again, try not to take credit away from Arkansas. That's why they're so good. But to beat them, you have to play better than that.
Questions for the players now.
Hey, Donnie, I had one for each guy. First, for Thomas, what'd you think of Cronin? He struck out the 4 guys he faced. How tough was he today?
Right. Cronin's an electric arm, one of the best fastballs in the country, and you got to give him credit. When it comes down to it in the 8th and 9th, we just got to have more competitive at-bats versus a guy like that. In the SEC, especially the SEC tournament, you're going to get the best arms, going to get closers like that all the time, so we just have to compete versus a guy like that, but he was really good today. And
then, Zach, being from Texarkana, what did it mean to you to pitch a big game, I guess, against Arkansas? And I assume that was one of your best games of the season. How'd you feel about the outing?
I felt good about it. Growing up in Arkansas, my whole family, big Arkansas fan, so it was pretty neat to get to pitch against them. Felt good. It just wasn't our day.
Zach, can you kind of talk us through that last couple of bats in the 6th, the one where you gave up the hit there?
Walking Martin, 3-2 changeup just kind of slipped away from me, and then fastball slipped away, hit Fletcher. And then I worked myself out of it, get 2 outs, and then fastball inside. He just made a really good swing on it, put it in the gap.
Thomas, how are you adjusting to that leadoff role? I think it's 9 of 16, the successes there. How do you feel about the new role? How do you feel about the success in the new role?
Right. I've been joking with Coach B for 2 years now about hitting leadoff, but it's just kind of taking a little bit of pressure off of me, not having to hit 4th and just drive in everybody and try to put a lot of pressure on myself to hit balls out of the yard. Just got to get on base for the other guys. I mean, we have Gray, Keenan, Zabowski, Ole, Cooper, endless guys behind me. And, today just wasn't our day of driving guys in, but we'll put more runners on tomorrow and do it and drive in some runners tomorrow.
In the front.
Thomas, it looks through 2 games here that success through the lineup offensively has been inconsistent. Some guys hitting, some not. What do you guys need to do to get more consistency through the lineup?
Right. I don't think there's anything mechanical or anything like that. I just think we need to get a little bit tougher and, believe in ourselves. We have great guys 1 through 9 in our lineup, and even after that, we just got to go up there wanting to be that guy, wanting to get the hit, wanting the at-bat versus guys like Cronin. We have to have guys like that. And when we need to push a runner to third base or do something like that, we need to have guys that want to get that done and just go up there and compete.
Anything else for the players? Thank you, guys. You guys stepped in.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Start right here in the front. Resume with Coach.
Mike, just what did you think of Zach's outing today? It looked like he battled through some poor fortune early and turned into a pretty good outing.
I thought he was terrific, and I mentioned, a couple walks in an HBP, but it wasn't. I thought he commanded it well today. I thought he, we didn't help him defensively. One was a fielder's choice, but we could have gotten a lead runner, at first base, where they get their first run, where we don't catch the ball, we bobble it and have to take the force out. And then later a ground ball that, went as a hit, but Tyler makes that play all the time. We don't make that play. Another, opportunity that, gets blown. And, I thought he pitched his heart out today. And, you know, it was one of those, I didn't even think about it, you know, when we chose to pitch him, you know, about the Arkansas deal. But, you know, he pitched with a lot of guts today against a really good offense. I thought he made some terrific pitches, and it's a shame, you know, at the end, you know, bad pitch call by me to Kenley where, you know, he gets a, you know, big base hit up the middle. Should have went breaking ball, but, you know, he's almost out of that inning, and, you know, he would have pitched, you know, 6 innings, you know, against, you know, a really, really good offense.
Mike, it's kind of a tough question, but, you know, Chase Cockrell's been so tough for him all year. What's really been hard for him to get going? I mean, it's been an all-year thing. What's been the struggle?
If we knew that, he wouldn't be struggling. You know, it's tough. It's baseball, and you know it happens sometimes. And you know, sometimes when you get into the hole, it's hard to get out. You know, you feel bad for him at times, but you know he's swung it a lot better the last few weeks in BP, and you know certainly against Cronin. You know. Big left-hander out there with you know what we have left on the bench. Thought he had the best shot to catch up, you know, to it. Obviously, if you watch the other hitters, it's a tough one to catch up to.
Along those lines, Mike, Gray and Tyler have been big bats for you all year. They're 1 for 12 here. What are you seeing in their at-bats?
You know, I thought today we just didn't handle the fastball well, and I don't just think it's them. I think it's everybody. You know, it's you know one of the things we normally do well. You know, normally we can handle the fastball. They got some premium arms, so these aren't normal fastballs. But I think along with those guys, you know, collectively as a group, we just haven't handled the fastball very well.
He brought up the defense at the top. Is it just kind of isolated plays, you think, or is there something going on?
Yeah, a couple plays we didn't make, and you know, to win these type of games against a really good team, where your offensive opportunities are going to be limited, I think you have to make those plays. You know, those are you know routine plays that don't get made, and you know I think. When you're in these kind of close games and there's 5 hits on both sides and it's a 1-run game, you know, every pitch, every play matters.
Similar thing I asked Thomas, going into last weekend, what leads you to kind of make that serious of a lineup change to move Thomas up to the 1? How do you think he's adjusting to it?
He's been terrific. We answered that a couple times. You know, Thomas is a guy that I thought you know got a little stagnant in the middle. He's you know batted you know basically 4th for us since he's stepped on campus, and certainly you know one of the best hitters on the team, but you know wasn't real productive where he was the last few weeks, and so. I think the biggest thing for me is if you move him to the top, you don't clog the bases up because he's a base runner. He can run, he can steal bases. Number 2 is he walks, and so as a leadoff guy, that's I think to me very scary if you're the opposing team, where you got to right off the bat you get a 230-pound guy that's a switch hitter that can hit it out of any park. You got to pitch to him. If you walk him, he can steal. If you pitch to him, you know, he might get an extra base hit. And so just seemed, and where we were, you know, we needed something. But he jokes, we did. Last year I challenged him. I said, if you steal 20 bases, I'll bet you lead off, and kind of perked him up. But then I joked back this year and said, it looks like you're never getting 20 stolen bases, so I'll move you to lead off.
Mike, you got the morning game tomorrow. What's the challenge in that, and who you're throwing tomorrow?
We'll pitch Doug Nikhazy, and the challenge is just like any tournament. You know, you're in the losers bracket. You got to win or you go home. So you got to be ready to play.
Let's get Bob there.
Hey, Mike, I had 2 questions. One, just what do you think of Cronin? You know, 4 batters, 4 strikeouts.
Well, I'm sure he's done that before. He's terrific. I mean, that's why he's one of the best closers in the country, and threw a couple sliders there. But obviously, what makes him go is that big-time fastball, and you know he gets a lot of swings and misses. And so it's not just velocity; it's a high spin, spin rate ball that, I think hitters think they're on it, but they're not. They swing under that ball a lot and get blown away a lot. And today, we didn't look very good against it.
And then Curtis Washington went in as a pinch runner and stole third, and then had a nice slide to score. What'd you think of those plays he made and giving him an insurance run?
Well, he's terrific. It was wild pitch pass ball to third, though. And, I didn't think we handled it very well at first base. I thought that, we should have got him at home. I thought we kind of froze at first base on that ground ball.
Did you contemplate any other scenarios there with Graham bunting or somebody else there in the 8th after you got a couple guys on?
Yeah, I mean, we would have had to probably go somewhere, in another spot, and just felt that we're going to take 3 shots at it swinging, and figured we'd get some, fastballs, which we did. Just we would have had to make a lineup change to bunt, and we could have done that, but I thought we had a better opportunity or better chance to score if we just took 3 shots at swinging it.
Just a scare there with Cooper getting hit. Is he okay?
Yeah, it seems to be, and obviously we wouldn't have left him in if the trainer and the doctor didn't think he was okay, and that was a scary moment, and anytime somebody gets hit in the head, but at first they weren't sure really how much of the face got hit. A little bit, you could see, but he seemed fine. He's a tough kid, and. But beyond tough, I mean, he seemed okay, and I'm sure they're checking him out now and check him out, again tonight and tomorrow. But it was a scary moment.
What goes into that quick conversation between Cooper and the trainer? Is it a sort of concussion protocol? What really happens?
They
there
ask him. I'm sure they look at the eyes, and then if they're dilated, and again, your general studies degree from LSU, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt there, but they talk to him. I think it's really just to make sure that he's there, and you're looking at him, and he never looked really dazed or fogged. Once he stood up, and he wanted to get up immediately. We're the ones that were trying to keep him down, and but when he gets up and he wanted to run the first, I said, "No, don't do that. Just walk." And but it wasn't it wasn't I think just emotion. I mean, finally, I asked him like 3 times, legitimate, besides what the trainer's asking him questions, and he said, "I'm fine. I'm okay. I think I'm okay." And I kept asking him, and finally, I don't know exactly what his answer was, but it was like, I'm fine, shut up and go back to the dugout. So I left, the trainer stayed out there.
I think we got them all, Coach.
Thank you.